Welcome back to OpenLine, talking with elder law attorney Tim Takis. Planning for if you have a loved one, aging loved one, going into a nursing home, or just as they get older, what sorts of things can you do? We talked about Social Security at the top of the show.
Yes.
Let's delve into that a little bit more.
Sure.
What are some things people need to be thinking about? This would not be an elderly, well, it could be. Yeah. You have a loved one who's aging, but it could also be you. You know, we are thinking about
Right, I was saying is that I just turned 62, you know, and I'm starting to get emails and messages from people saying, well, you know, you can now start drawing Social Security retirement.
So you can retire at age 62?
Yeah, I can retire on Social Security. I can start drawing.
Okay.
And basically the rule on that is that if you're planning on drawing Social Security retirement, one is that you have to draw or have to have earned enough quarters. We call it, the Social Security Administration calls them quarters, which essentially means that if you have earned 40 quarters, you know, during your employment history, then you can draw a full benefit, a full Social Security retirement benefit. Now, for people who have been in the workforce for a long time, that's, you know, they don't have to think about that. But there are a lot of people out there who, you know, have maybe they're a spouse who's not worked outside the home, or maybe worked, you know, sporadically, kind of like being off the economy. Some people, you know, have had some like disability or whatever it is, and so have a limited work history, so they're not actually even able to draw, you know, a full Social Security benefit.
40 quarters, that would be 10 years, wouldn't it?
10 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
You know, and a lot of us, you know, we started working, you know, when we were 19 or 20 years old, and, you know, and actually, if for those of you who are thinking, well, do I qualify for not, you know, then you can go to Social Security, SSA.gov, Social Security Administration's website, and you can set up an account there, you know, and they do a verification so that they know it's hopefully really you, and you can get your work history, you know, and supposedly they're supposed to mail you one, and I don't know if they still do that or not, like a hard copy of your work history. They used to anyway.
They did used to do that. Yeah, I don't know if they still do.
Yeah, but you could go and SSA.gov, and you can get all of that information. And not only can you see your work history, you can also ask Social Security to give you a report of how much you would draw from in Social Security if you retired at, say, at normal retirement age. Normal retirement age. You know, it's often people thought, well, you know, that was 65. Well, it was 65 for a long time, but 30-some years ago, there was like the last major correction of Social Security to sort of keep the program solvent.
Right.
And so for people, say my age, my normal retirement age is not 65. It's like 66 years and I think maybe 8 months or 9 months. You know, so I've got a little bit of ways to go before I actually could draw, you know, a normal retirement age benefit. Because if you draw early, then your benefit is reduced. So like for instance, if I decided that, you know, I'm tired of doing this, or I just want to start drawing my benefit.
Right.
I don't have to, all I have to do is go sign up for it, and Social Security Administration will start sending me money.
Okay.
All right, now, should I do that? Well, probably not, because I'm a reasonably high earner, and so that might mean that I can't draw benefits, or, you know, it could create a problem for my earnings history, okay? But more important is that, well, I don't need the money.
Right.
And the longer I delay drawing the Social Security retirement benefit, the more my retirement benefit is going to be.
So wait as long as you can.
You wait as long as, so as a general rule, you wait as long as you can. Now, why would I want to draw early? Well, one is that suppose that I had to stop working because I was terminally ill. I might go, well, I'm not going to let this go to waste. You know, I developed early onset. I can't work anymore, and so maybe I need to start drawing the benefit now, because if you have early onset, you know, your longevity is frankly not very good in most cases. So why wait until I'm 65 or 66 or 68 or 70, which is I can get the full retirement, because I may be dead.
Right.
So start drawing it out now. So those are some of the reasons why you might want to wait, or some of the reasons why you should start drawing it out now. So those are the kind of things that, that was like the third thing, we were talking about Social Security, the things that you need to look into.
Right.
Is don't start thinking don't reach age 62 and start thinking, oh, maybe I should start drawing.
Right.
At least maybe do some research to see what it is that, should you draw early? What are your consequences if you wait? Why should you draw early? Mm-hmm. Are you married? Do you have a spouse? Maybe there's some claiming strategies that the federal government took away most of the claiming strategies that had been historically available to people, where they could say a file for retirement, called like file and suspend is what it was called. So you file, and then you suspend your benefits. Really kind of sort of semi-complicated stuff. A lot of that stuff you can't do anymore.
All right, we have 2 minutes left. What do you want people to, what should they know about wills? In final 2 minutes. Because I always love this conversation.
Like
so I hate that we
Ultima thing.
Yeah, Ultima. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Just basically, people get all. What do they need to know about wills?
Okay.
Now we have less than 2 minutes.
If you have a will, all right. For one, it doesn't mean your estate is going to go through probate. Probate is court-supervised estate administration. Now, if you want to have a will that leaves everything to this and that and other, and you own assets at your death, then somebody's going to take your will to the probate court, and you're going to have to pay for that, and you're going to have the delay, and and maybe that's a good idea, but there are other ways to do that so that you avoid probate.
That's the thing people worry about, is avoiding probate, right?
Yeah.
And is that, should they worry about that?
No, they don't really need to worry. It's not particularly onerous in Tennessee, but if you can avoid it, and there are good reasons that you can, and there are options that are available to avoid probate, that don't include just giving all your money to your kids so you don't have anything to probate.
Right.
But that's one of the things that you go to an experienced estate planning attorney, or even a moderately experienced attorney that will help you understand, your options for avoiding probate, why you should avoid probate, why you shouldn't. What are the advantages and disadvantages of doing that? Mm-hmm. Those are the sorts of things that people really need to think about.
And there's some clear lines of how property passes.
Yes.
If you don't have a will,
right,
legally, there's some
it's going to go to your heirs at law. If you don't have heirs at law.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to go to the son who you haven't seen in 25 years. But that's that child's going to get his or her share.
Mm-hmm. It would go automatically, and automatically to your spouse.
Automatically to your spouse, and not necessarily unless it's. But if it's not held jointly, your spouse only gets a percentage. Doesn't mean they get everything.
Okay.
So if you have children, then the children are going to get some, and the spouse will get the rest.
See, wills. That's all interesting.
It is. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll come back, wrap everything up. Be back right after this.